All right, everybody keeps talking about Greta Thunberg, so I decided, let me look into it, and I watched the full speech, and here's where I'm at. What's up, everybody? Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right. So let me start off by saying when it comes to Greta Thunberg, I think the people, or the person specifically on CNN, I don't even remember what his name, or maybe it was Fox News, that was calling her mentally ill, and people in general that are giving her a hard time about being autistic. I think that's ridiculous. You know, she has Asperger's. That's what it is. I have plenty of friends with Asperger's. I don't think that that's at all something to make fun of people about or devalue their opinions. At the same time, I don't think that just because you have Asperger's and you're 16 years old, that means that you can't be questioned or your thinking can't be examined. Having said that, I'm just gonna tell you guys, I watched the speech, and when she starts off with, "This is wrong. I should be in school." Yeah, bitch, I agree. You should be in school. Now get your ass to school and stop trying to lecture people that didn't ask you for shit. Because the next thing she says is, you come to us looking for hope or asking for hope. Nobody asked you for anything. So I don't know who it is that's asking you for these things, but I know I wasn't looking to 16-year-olds to figure out what we're supposed to do about climate change or the earth in general. And when people talk about we're trying to save the earth, no, you're not trying to save the earth. You're trying to save yourselves, because the earth doesn't care whether we're here or not. The earth is not like, let me make sure I stay inhabitable for human beings. What am I worth if I'm not inhabitable for human beings? The earth is not thinking about us at all. And I think we have far less control over what the earth does than we think. And I think when Greta Thunberg specifically says that the science is crystal clear, I think if you say the science is crystal clear, you don't really understand science, because science by nature usually isn't crystal clear. There's always at least a little room for interpretation, a little room for having to figure it out, guess. I mean, we can't figure out the weather from day to day, but yet we're figuring out what the earth is going to do for years and years to come. Doesn't really make sense and doesn't really hold up. In 2006, I remember there was An Inconvenient Truth, which was that Al Gore movie. And I'm just gonna tell this story just to show you guys how little the people that claim to care about this really care about it. There was a movie called An Inconvenient Truth. It was an Al Gore movie, and it was boring. I had voted for Al Gore. I've admitted that before. Yes, I'm ashamed of it, but it's what I did. And yeah, so I went to watch the movie because I had this roommate that just wanted everybody to see it because it was his cause, it was his thing. You have to know that this is happening. We have to do something about it. Okay, so he took several different groups of us, and I'm not exaggerating at all, several different groups of us to see this movie because he thought it was so important. He paid for us to see it. We went to see the movie. I got very bored during the movie, but I did watch the entire thing. I was able to stay awake through it. It was charts and graphs and a lot of statistics, and it was a lot and not my idea of entertainment. But I watched the whole thing and I took it in. So afterwards, me and my roommate leave the theater. You know, we were technically with another friend. We all leave the theater and we get home. And even though I thought the movie itself was boring, I was excited by the idea and the fact that we could actually do something, or do our part at least, to help out. So I asked my roommate, because we hadn't been recycling, and I was like, so are we going to start recycling now? And then he was like, well, I haven't been able to find another trash can that actually goes with my kitchen, so I'm not going to be recycling. Well, you're already not doing your part. So now I don't even take you seriously. And it's always this way with people. Like, a lot of the people that are really saying that we should do something about this are also at the same time wearing H&M or Forever 21. And fast fashion is one of the major causes of all the pollution right now. So if you're saying that you support Greta Thunberg and you really believe in this cause, and you're also wearing H&M, there's a lot of those little cheap brands like Fashion Bug, like the ones that have the quick turnaround and always are having new stuff and it's always super cheap. Those brands are the worst. The amount of dyes they put into the rivers and the lakes wherever they're close to. I watched a whole special about it, and it was I think in Thailand was where one of the factories was, where they showed like a mother that didn't even make enough money to live in the same town as their kid, had to leave the kid with the grandparents. And anyway, I'm getting away from the point, but you get it. It's like, it's all bigger than just what she's making it sound like, or it's not as easy, because you have to get the everyday person involved as well. It's not just about the government and what the government decides. You have to get the everyday person involved as well. And I don't see a lot of people really making the changes that they're going to need to make in order to make this really a thing. And in 2006, there was an Inconvenient Truth, and a lot of people were hot on that. And then look what happened. Now we're at 2019, we're revisiting the same thing. It's not like, people have had this cause all along. It's like people have picked it back up again because for some reason it's in fashion again. And I'm sorry, but I'm not listening to some white bitch in a braid tell me what it is I'm supposed to do and what it is I'm asking of her, because I haven't asked anything of you. I'm not looking to a young white girl that's not even from this country for hope. I'm not. And I read that her mother was actually an international opera singer, and that she decided to quit her international opera singing career because Greta felt so strongly about this. Well, what a privileged life we lead. Because I can tell you, I just got off a plane coming back from Sarasota, Florida, and I don't have the option of just quitting my job and deciding, okay, I'm not going to do comedy anymore because I don't want to contribute. My carbon footprint has gotten out of control. No. I got to make this money. I got to continue to work. So I got to drive my car to and from gigs. I got to do, it's business as usual, Greta. And for the people that are acting like she's some kind of phenom because she's 16 years old, and 16 isn't that young. I don't care if you put a braid in your hair, which there were some people that compared her to Nazi propaganda, which I thought that was silly also. But at the same time, I do know that there's people behind the scenes that will help you craft your look and make sure you look the part. And I do think that braid was an effort to be like, look it, she's just a young girl with a braid in her hair. Just natural young girl telling us what it is we're supposed to do and what it is we expect of her. And what it is she expects of us. Ugh. People, stop being such suckers. And when I ask a simple question like, who asked her for hope? Because I didn't know there was a call out to young people for hope. Like I said, I expect young people to be listening to whatever group it is they're listening to. I was going to say One Direction, but that tells you how out of date I am, because I don't even think One Direction is a thing anymore. Who else is there? I don't know. Anyway, I don't pay attention to the kids like that. I don't have any reason to. I just don't care. I care, but I don't care. If there's something I can be doing, let me know. But outside of that, just hearing your impassioned speech and how dare you? How dare you? I should be in school right now. Well, bitch, go to school. Nobody has you out here like this. You're going on a world tour. Clearly, you're not that worried about school. Or you know what you would be doing? You'd be in school. You'd be like me and you'd be like, I don't have time to worry about that. That's not my cause. You chose to stay out of school. You're playing hooky. This is what you do with playing hooky. When I was a kid, when you played hooky, you hid. You didn't show up at the UN giving a whole speech saying, hey, I'm not in school right now. That's not what you did at all. I remember one time I had ditched school with some friends of mine, and the cops ended up seeing us, and obviously they knew that we were young kids, and so we tried to outrun the cops in an alley and hid in a bush. We weren't thinking about showing up on TV and giving a speech, and how dare you? How dare you not be in school, young lady? You get your little ass to school. You stop bothering people with these speeches that you're giving. And if you want to give the speech, give the speech. But don't make it seem like the whole world is asking this of you. This is your mission. This is something that you're impassioned about. So let it be that. But don't put it all on us that we demanded you come out here, I had no choice. I had to show up and give this speech. I had no choice. Even if they ask, you still don't have to give the speech. I know. I've been asked to do things where I'm like, I'm not doing that. Not happening. Sorry. Not making time in my schedule for it. But I'd imagine that even though this isn't the most popular thought, I'd imagine her and her family are making quite a bit of money off of this. So of course the mom was like, well, yeah, what do I want to be roaming the world singing opera? I sang opera for long enough. Let a bitch take a break. I want to rest my feet. I'm tired of being in airports. Because I'll tell you that. Like, honestly, I said I just got off a plane from Sarasota, Florida. Technically, I flew out of Tampa to Las Vegas. And honestly, if I had a kid that could just work and make this money and I could stop traveling for comedy, I'd still perform locally because I love what I do. So I'd be all over Las Vegas still performing, but I definitely would stop going on the road. I'd be like, you take it, boo-boo. Let's write this speech and get you out there. Tell him how dare you, girl. Tell him how dare you. Anyway, I asked people for like actual facts, like who asked her, who came to her for hope, and the most ridiculous answer I got was somebody saying the Whitney Houston song, The Greatest Love of All, I believe that children are the future. Can we stop being ridiculous? Just say nobody specifically asked her. She made this her mission. This is the way of making the speech. My friend John Gilligan gave the best explanation for that. He was like, it's kind of the infomercial thinking, like you create the problem and then you solve the problem. To me, that is the most honest, makes sense. And I don't have a dog in this fight, really. I know this is another one where I don't have a dog in the fight, but that's what makes it fun for me to talk about this stuff, is when I really don't care about it. And it's not like I completely don't care about the environment. I do care to the degree that, yeah, I would like for the earth to stay inhabitable for human beings for a long time. But let's be honest, I'm a gay man. I don't have kids. I'm probably not gonna have grandkids, so I only need it to last as long as I'm a wear it girl. Anyway, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.